Buying a home is an exciting and important event and involves a significant amount of financial investment, typically the biggest we'll have in our lives. You want to have that investment insured against anything that might jeopardize your ownership or cost you money for debts you didn't incur. That's why you want to have title insurance. Today, we're going to be taking a look at what title insurance is and some of the specific details related to it. So stay tuned. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate on the Front Range, my weekly podcast where I cover all things real estate here on the Front Range of Northern Colorado. Join me every week to get market updates, tips, and information on relevant topics to make sure that you're fully informed before you buy or sell your next home. This is Sean Gilliam, your host, and I look forward to you joining me on Spotify, Google, Apple, or whatever your favorite podcast app is for the latest episodes. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of my podcast, Real Estate on the Front Range. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at title insurance, briefly defining what it is so that you get an idea and are informed as to why it's important when you're purchasing a home. It's pretty much a standard part of any transaction. I haven't had a situation where people refuse to get it, but it's very important that you have title insurance. It protects your ownership in the property and protects you from any debts or payment of any debts that you didn't incur prior to purchasing the property. So there's laws that protect that investment and your ownership of it. And essentially what happens when you submit an offer on a property, the seller accepts it, that contract is then sent to the title company that's been selected, and they will begin the process of researching and examining any recorded documents pertaining to the property and determining if there's anything that impacts title to the property. These could be court actions, easements, tax liens, or otherwise. If anything is found, the title company will determine if it is to be accepted, which means that it won't be covered by their title insurance policy, or if it's to be resolved or extinguished prior to closing. There also may be manners of title that are not recorded with the property but could have an impact on your ownership. Title insurance policies do cover many of these things, especially in the extended coverage policy. Title insurance is typically paid for by the seller in a transaction and provided by the title company they select. So it's important for you as a buyer to take a look at which company that is. And if it's a small podunk company, and maybe you're concerned about whether or not they'll still be in business down the road, you could submit to your offer or with your offer saying, hey, I'll pay for the title insurance, but I want to select who the company is. And you might want to select one of the more prominent companies in the industry that you know are going to be around for a while and have a large pool of funds should you need any protection down the road with regards to the title to the property. So the buyer in a transaction can also elect to use their own title company. And in any case, I always recommend that a buyer gets title insurance and all extended coverage available, because that extended coverage policy will protect you in some additional items, as I'll review here shortly. Now, to talk further about what it is, title insurance, it's slightly different from other forms of insurance that we purchase. For example, auto or homeowners insurance is protecting us from potential future events that can cause financial loss, such as a car accident or a house fire. Title insurance, however, is unique in that it protects homeowners from future losses or damages related to events that happened in the past. For example, unrecorded easements or mechanic liens prior to your ownership of the property could surface that have a significant financial impact on you. If you have the extended coverage, these should be covered by that policy, thus protecting you from financial damages. In a real estate transactions, all parties involved will receive a preliminary title commitment provided by the title company. This is a commitment that the title company will insure the property for the buyer as long as certain requirements are met. Examples of these include the requirements that all taxes and liens are paid prior to closing, or that the existing deed of trust be paid off. The deed of trust, just so you know, that's the mortgage that the buyer currently has on the property. It's important to pay attention to these requirements. For example, for rural or mountain properties, some title companies are requiring an improvement location certificate to be provided to determine if there are any encroachments on the boundaries to the property. There are specific deadlines for ILCs or improvement location certificates, so if it is required, that needs to be addressed in the contract. As a real estate agent, that's my job to make sure that we look into this and allow enough time to order an ILC, have it reviewed, and see if there's going to be any issues. In addition to requirements that the title company will have, a title commitment will also have a list of exceptions or items that the title policy will not insure. Examples of exceptions include coverage of water rights and unrecorded easements or liens. Pay attention to this list to see how it may impact you as the buyer. It's also good to make sure that names are spelled correctly, the legal description is accurate, and the purchase price is correct as well. If you have questions, the title examiner with the title company can be helpful, but it's also recommended that you speak to an attorney that is an expert in matters of title. Make sure you consult with the necessary experts prior to the end of your title review period. That way, if you need to make any objections or terminate, you can do so in a timely manner. The good news is, some of these exceptions will be deleted or the policy will insure over those standard exceptions if you get the owner's extended coverage with your title insurance policy. This additional coverage usually costs under $100, so it only makes sense to ask for this in the contract. The owner's extended coverage will delete or insure over the following exceptions: parties in possession, unrecorded easements, survey matters, unrecorded mechanics liens, that gap period between the effective date and time of commitment to the date and time the deed is recorded, and any unpaid taxes, assessments, and unredeemed tax sales prior to the year of closing. You can see, as a reference, you can see this quoted directly from the Colorado real estate contract in section 9.1.3. When you make it to closing, in part, that's because those requirements that were listed in that preliminary title commitment have been met. And therefore, the title insurance company will issue you that final title insurance policy. This is something you should receive a few weeks after closing, and this is the actual policy that you will hold on to and use to defend your title to the property should there be any issues down the road. Again, that's why I want to state the importance of making sure you use a large, reputable company that is, one, going to be around for a long time should you have any issues down the road, and has significant financial assets to protect you should there be any financial damages related to any claims that might come up down the road. I know this is a lot of unfamiliar terminology for many, but the more exposure you get, the better. That way, the next time you buy or sell a home, you'll at least have some familiarity with it. Let me know if you have any questions. And of course, if you want more information, go ahead and search online for some of these larger title companies because they have all sorts of helpful information on their websites. You can call them, talk to a title examiner, and ask questions too. Some of those are Fidelity National Title Insurance, Heritage Title, and Land Title. These are some of the companies that are local here in Northern Colorado. So I hope this is helpful. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll look forward to talking with you soon. Take care.